Udo village is a very beautiful place full of laughter and joy. The people always had bountiful harvest and everyone was happy and satisfied. People did things together, all except one family. The Ori family were like an oddity in the whole village. It seemed as if they did not know what laughter and joy was, and did not interact much with people of the village. But you see, this family wasn't always like this. So what could have happened that made them this way? The Obi family was a very happy family, and their happiness increased when they had their last child, Obina. Obina was very much loved by his parents and siblings. They all loved and pampered him so much. When Obina was 10 years old, his father made him a flute, and Obina was very happy. The flute gave him so much joy. He would take the flute with him to the market when his mom took him along, and he would play it there. He would also take it to the town square and play it for the other children. He would even take it to the farm when he was taken along and played it there too. Obina could never be apart from his flute. It had become a part of him, but never say never. One day, after a long day at the farm, and they had all gone home for the day, Obina had forgotten his flute in the farm and did not realize it until he had gotten home. During their meal time, Obina kept crying and wanting to go back to the farm to get his flute, but his family disagreed. They would not let him leave because it was getting dark, and everyone knew that at night was time for spirits and not humans. So they tried to console Obina to make him understand why they could not agree to him this time around. But Obina could not be reasoned with, and so when every other person was not paying attention to him, he ran out. As he ran, he kept telling himself that his parents were probably lying, as he had not seen any spirits on his way. But immediately, he saw it ahead of him. He knew it was a spirit, for it did not look human at all. It was weird looking, and he was greatly frightened and did not know what to do. He knew this spirit wanted to eat him. Thinking of a way to get out of the situation, he remembered that whenever his family or others were mad at him, he played his flute or sang to them. They would no longer be angry with him. So, since he did not have his flute with him, he decided to sing to the spirit. He sang and sang, explaining why he had come out. He begged the spirit to spare his life and forgive him. The spirit listened to him and let him go, but warned him to return home. But did Obina listen? No, he stupidly kept on going. On the way, he met the second spirit. This one had two heads. He could feel it was stronger than the first. He was frightened, but he decided to repeat what he did to the first spirit and sang to it. The second spirit was very touched and even sang with him, but he told him to go back as it was not safe. But did Obina listen? No, he still continued to forge ahead. On the same path, he met the third spirit with three heads. This one was stronger than the first two. But at this point, Obina had gotten some courage, so he sang boldly to the spirit. This spirit was also touched and let him go, but it also gave him the same advice as the first two: go home, go home. But it wouldn't be our dear Obina if he actually listened, so Obina forged ahead. On the way, he met an old woman. At first, he was relieved that another human being was outside with him, but as he approached her, he could feel the power radiating off her. He then knew she was not human, but a spirit in humanoid form, and for some reason, that made him more afraid. But he still boldly walked up to her and began singing. The old woman listened patiently to him and did not say anything while he sang. When he was done singing, she looked him in the eye and told him, "You stubborn child, even though you had been warned, you still continued on this your journey. If you refuse to go back now, you will neither reach your destination nor be able to return home." Then she disappeared. Her warning gave Obinna goosebumps. He stood on the path for a while, not knowing whether to go back or to continue. But of course, he chose to continue. And so, in this fashion, he met a spirit with five heads and a spirit with six heads. He repeated his singing and passed successfully, but they all gave him the same warning. Little boy, go home. Then, just right at the entrance to the farm, he met a spirit with 7 heads. This one was so powerful, Rubin almost peed his pants. But he stood and sang to it. But because he was so scared, he just kept stuttering. Before he could even finish his song, the spirit laughed at him and said, since you decided to remain stubborn and not listen, you will see what you're looking for. And then he swallowed him. Back at the village, Obina's family realized that he was missing. They looked for him everywhere in the house, and then they realized that he must have gone to the farm, and they were scared. Then one of his brothers decided to venture out to look for him, but was swallowed by the same 7 headed spirit. Another of his brother also went out, and the same fate met him. Then the remaining son also ventured out and met the same fate. With his 4 sons all missing, the father decided to go on his own, and he went with his machete. But he too was swallowed. But he used his machete to slash the spirit from inside and killed it. Then he cut the spirit's stomach and came out with his sons. But it was already too late for Obina, for he was already dead. Obina was mourned greatly by his family and the villagers, for although he was sometimes stubborn, he was a very bright child. But after the mourning period, his family still never stopped mourning him, for they all blamed themselves for his death. And even though everyone sympathized with his family for their loss, in the privacy of their homes, parents would warn their kids, you better stop being stubborn and listen to us, or you will end up like Obina, the boy who never returned. Thank you for reaching to the end of this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know if there's anything you think down in the comments below. Thank you very much.